Man City dropped points at the Hill Dickinson Stadium, and Arsenal Football Club is now in the driving seat for the Premier League title. Now, I did mention in my last video that I had a sneaking suspicion something was going to happen today, and I was right. Now, listen, that could have been hopium copium. That could have been multiple things. I'm not going to pretend like I watch Everton week in, week out. I don't. But there was just something about being 6 points clear with a 4+ on a goal difference that I think does something to a team psychologically who has to sit on that full amount result for more time than usual. Playing on a Monday under the lights, it's away from home. It's a tough ask. It's a tough ask, feeling like not only does a win not do anything at all to solidify your kind of like title hopes, but on top of that, feeling like you need to score and do a lot more. And it was a lot. It was a lot for City against an Everton team that we have seen firsthand that when they want to step up and be gritty and get stuck in and be defensive and be physical, they can be. And they showed it today. Now, listen, when you're 3-1 up with 10 minutes to go and City comes back and gets a result, it's upsetting because you feel like with a loss, we could have drawn like at a West Ham away and would still be in the driving seat, not having to worry about goal difference. But you will take drop points any which way they come. And right now, Arsenal, we are in the driving seat. I think one of the reasons why we all felt so jaded after that Man City game is because not only was the momentum with Manchester City, but you kind of felt like even if we won all of our games and City won all of their games in a shootout on goal difference, there was no way that we were going to, beat the team that's been flying high and scoring goals for fun when we were not looking great. And obviously, the narrative and the momentum and the psychology and the fans and everything and the feeling of everyone kind of really changed after that result against Fulham, where we basically thrashed them, 3-0 in the first 45 minutes. And so now we're all feeling very up. And of course, this Man City result is going to make us feel even better. But right now, we're the team with the momentum. And right now, we're the one in the driving seat. And so you feel like we're in a good spot. We're in a good spot. Win your 3 games and you are Premier League champions. That's all that matters. Nothing else matters. Win your 3 games and you're Premier League champions. But what does that mean? Now, our next game is West Ham away. That's on the Sunday. And I think most, rival fans and pundits were all looking at that game as the one where Arsenal was going to drop points. Every other game, I think, a bar from Crystal Palace, the final game of the season when Crystal Palace is not fighting for Europe. They're not fighting for anything. They should pretty much be on the beach. Bar that game, this was the only away game that we had left to a team that still had something to fight for. This is a West Ham side that is in a relegation fight. Okay, a result against Arsenal is massive for them to stay in the Premier League, and that means hundreds of millions of dollars for them. So they're going to give us a proper fight, and the pressure is going to be on us. That is a game that all the pundits and all the rival fans circled as when Arsenal are going to drop points, of when they're going to bottle it. That's what the script was saying. And the reality is that now there is more pressure on us than ever before, especially with Man City playing the day before on the Saturday against Brentford at home, where you expect them to win, especially when they need a bounce back result and performance. So will the players do it? How many times in the last 4 years, and even this season, have we had the opportunity to seize a title or a trophy with both hands and really cement our leaders, cement our position, and we failed to do so? Every single time this team has failed in that. And every single time the narrative around Arsenal comes back, the mentality, the bottling, the jokes, the banter from the media, from the fans, from rivals, it always comes back. But this is the one opportunity to finally change the narrative. But it's not going to happen on Sunday. It's going to happen tomorrow night against Atlético Madrid. Win tomorrow and the narrative will shift. The narrative will shift and it will affect what we do on Sunday, because you win tomorrow and you book yourself a ticket to the Champions League final, and you are now walking with a different spring in your step. Now you believe. Now the pundits and the rival fans and everyone begins to speak of you differently. Now you finally got over one of the biggest hurdles that you can possibly get over, which is getting past the elimination round in the Champions League and booking yourself a ticket to the final. That's a very different story. People will talk about Arsenal very differently. And when we show up to the London Stadium as Champions League finalists, with an opportunity to probably put the Premier League to bed, we're going to walk onto that pitch with a very different swagger and with a very different mentality. But if we lose tomorrow against Atlético Madrid, the narrative comes back, the mentality of conversations come back, the ill feelings within our fans are going to come back, and then there's going to be so much pressure on Sunday that I think it's going to be too much for the players. But if we win tomorrow, get a result tomorrow, and I know it sounds crazy because it's two completely different competitions, but get a result tomorrow and we will win on Wednesday and we will be Premier League champions, and anything can happen in 90 minutes in the Champions League final. I won't get into that right now. But the opportunity to change the narrative around Arsenal Football Club starts tomorrow against Atlético Madrid. Get into that Champions League final, get over the line, change the narrative of the media, of rival fans, of everybody, and you will walk and feel like a champion, and you will get the job done against West Ham. That, I believe it 100%. I will let you guys know how I feel after tomorrow's game, but I guess that's the message of this video. Win tomorrow, and we're Premier League champions. That's all I have to say.